Here is my Jimmy Joy order of the Plenny Pots. I got 3 flavours to try out, and they all came in this lovely cardboard packaging that you can recycle once you're finished. And these 3 boxes just came in this large box here, which is also recyclable. Thank you, Jimmy Joy. I'm so excited to try these out because I've tried the majority of Jimmy Joy's products except for these. So let's have a look at the flavors. We've got a Tikka Masala, and we have creamy Cajun pasta. I love the little illustrations, they're so cute. And then lastly we have Vegetable Korma. So today is Monday, and what I'm going to do is have one today, have one tomorrow, and then have one on Wednesday, and I'll have them during my lunch break, which is around 12 to 1 o'clock. So I shall see you guys at lunchtime.
A few moments later.
So it's currently my lunchtime hour, and the flavour I've chosen to go with is the creamy Cajun pasta right here. So it's been 5 minutes, and this is what the creamy Cajun pasta looks like. It's very, very hot, so I'm going to let it sit for about 4 minutes so that I don't burn myself. But so far so good. It's no longer that watery consistency that it was when I first poured the water in there, so it's absorbed everything very well, and it smells very nice. Bit of a close-up there. That's what it looks like.
5 minutes later.
So now I've just allowed this to cool down a bit. It smells quite alright if I don't say so myself. Oh my gosh, it tastes quite nice. So I'm gonna devour this because I'm really hungry, but for the purposes of the review, I can say that it is flavoursome, it is well seasoned, it is a little bit spicy, but not too spicy, especially for those of you who don't like too much spice, but it's also good for those of us, including myself, who do like a bit of kick. The consistency, as you can see for yourself, it's decent. It's not too watery, it's not too stiff, and the amount of water that I used was where it has this fill line, which is right here. It was actually even slightly above the fill line because I don't like things that are too powdery. Like, you know when you get those ramen noodle pots and you get the seasonings, and if it's a cheap one, it could taste a bit too powdery or a bit too like over seasoned. So I kind of preempted that. I didn't know whether it was going to be the same thing with this, but I just added a bit more water just because I know how I am. I'm pretty sure it tastes near enough the same, and it doesn't taste bad if you follow the directions to the T and stick to where that fill mark is right there. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely disgusting and 10 being absolutely divine and amazing. Let me just taste it one more time. Tasty as fuck. Okay, so guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this a I would give this a 6. And the reason why I give it a 6, because like I said, it's quite flavorful. It tastes nice. It smells nice. It's a decent consistency, even though I filled the pot up slightly past the fill line, and it's 400 calories, which is decent for me because I'm on a calorie dense diet. I don't restrict my calories at all. So if I'm going to have a snack, this would be it. And 400 calories for a snack alone is quite a lot in my opinion. Now, would I have it again? Yeah, I would definitely have this again. It's not something that I would have every single day because I'm a bit funny with having ready meals or meal replacements every single day. I want to personally rely on real food. And I'm not saying this isn't real food, but I mean that I want to rely on food that I make from scratch in my kitchen. I know exactly how it was made, and I made it with love, care and attention and etc. with basic ingredients, not too much salt, not too much sugar, no unhealthy fats, things like that. And although I would consider this quite healthy, especially in comparison to fast foods and takeaway, I think the level above this is obviously making your own meal from scratch in your own kitchen. So that's what I like to do, and that's why I've rated it a 6. For those of you who don't mind or don't have any kind of concern with not cooking your own food, and you just like to bang something in a microwave, you just like to take something out of your bag and have it ready for you, this may score higher for you. So there is that there. But yeah, I love the convenience. I love that when I am busy and I can't cook a meal for whatever reason and I'm rushing around, all I have to do is take this out of my cupboard or take it out of my bag if I brought it with me, pour some hot water in, give it a stir, wait for about 5 minutes, and then it's done, really. What more could you ask for? Like, this is probably the tastiest pot of anything I've ever tasted. And I have had a lot of different ramen noodles and Japanese noodles and whatnot. I'm not a huge fan of them. The only one I like is the Nongshim one, the Nongshim vegan one that comes in a green packet. But even that, I'm kind of like, it's not healthy. So for me, this would be a step up from that. This also gives me peace of mind that I'm getting a whole spectrum of vitamins and minerals, because it has vitamin A, D, E, K, C, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6, folic acid, vitamin B12, biotin. It also has pantothenic acid, potassium, chloride, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, iron, zinc, copper, manganese, selenium, chromium. I don't know what the fuck that is. And then it has iodine. And it also has the percentage of the recommended intake for all of these vitamins and minerals right here. So I think that is brilliant. And to know that I'm getting all of those on top of whatever else I choose to have, because for me this is just a snack. There's no way I'm going to have this for my lunch, right? Unless I'm really pressed for time, and this is just something to kind of keep me going in the meantime. So overall, I would say this is the win right here, and I'm looking forward to just eating the rest of this and trying the rest of the flavors. So yeah, this Cajun creamy pasta, it gets a thumbs up from me. So I'm nearing to the end of this pot right here, as you can see. And something that I would like to point out is that when I was mixing this, I felt like there was some like hard bits at the bottom of it, and I was trying to scrape it and, you know, really give it a good mix, and I thought I did, but clearly I didn't. So if you try this, make sure to mix it extremely well, because what you end up with is a lot of the flavor at the bottom of the pot, and it just really is too intense. It's like what I was talking about before, like with that flavor that's just too intense, like too much seasoning, and that's just because it wasn't mixed properly or evenly, I think. So the next pot that I have, I'm just going to make sure that all of it is just mixed in very thoroughly, because I don't think I can eat food it's too seasoned. I might just add a bit of water to this and see how I do, but it's only like a tiny bit that's left, so yeah.
The next day.
So it's Tuesday, 12 p.m. and the flavour that I've decided to go with for today is the Vegetable Korma. I have the kettle boiling already, and let's just do a taste test and see how it tastes. Now what I noticed with this pot is that I can actually shake the contents around. In the other one it was a bit stiff, and I'm thinking that's because the other one was pasta and this is rice, which has smaller particles, so it's just easier to move around. But let me just get some water in here, give it a good stir, and then I'll wait 5 minutes and we'll do the taste test. So this is what it looks like after I pour the water on top. It thickened up pretty much immediately, which I think is quite impressive. So I'm just going to cover it up with this and wait for 5 minutes.
5 minutes later.
Here we are with the finished pot, and this is what it looks like inside, as you can see. You could say it's quite a stodgy texture and consistency. Please excuse the noise in the background, that's just my washing machine. Let me just give you a closer look. It is quite hot, so I'm just stirring it around to, spread the heat. It smells very nice. It smells like a Thai coconut curry. If no one told me that this was a vegetable korma. This is actually quite nice. It has a very mild flavour to it, so if you're someone who doesn't like spice, then this would be for you. But at the same time, it is well seasoned, just like the previous pot. Even though the texture is quite stodgy, like usually when you cook rice, it's a bit more of a firmer texture and the grains are a bit more separate, whereas everything's just mixed in here, which is why it has the texture that it does. So even though it has this texture, there is quite a bit of bite to it. Like I actually have to chew the rice. And yeah, overall, for me, this is definitely a win. I'm looking forward to finishing the rest of this for sure. Personally, I would give this a 5 or a 6 out of 10 because it tastes really nice. It's quite tasty. But I feel like for a product like this, they're never really going to reach more than 8 out of 10. Like that's the highest score I think I would give a product that's in a pot. Unless it was mind-blowingly amazing. I just don't think ready meals or meal replacements such as this could do that. At least not for me, right? I'm used to home cooked meals made from scratch, like I said. So yeah, this is a 5 out of 10 for me. Let's say a 5.5. It has decent flavour, it's well seasoned, it's not overly seasoned, it's quite light, especially if you don't like spicy foods. It's definitely lightly spiced, but you can barely taste it, honestly. I would say the previous Plenny Pot, the Cajun pasta, that would probably be considered hot on the spice level, even though it wasn't that spicy, but just kind of looking at things from an overall perspective and comparing it to this one, it would be considered hot, whereas this one is mild. And I'm thinking maybe the next one, I can't remember what the flavour is called, perhaps that might be a medium. So they may have just catered for people who have varying spice levels, I don't know, but that would seem like a smart thing to do. But yeah, overall 5.5, and I'm just gonna tuck into this. So I'll see you tomorrow at lunchtime. So this Plenny Pot, the more I ate of it, the more I liked it. And that's what I noticed. This may be a me thing, but the first few bites of certain foods or certain meals, it might be a bit at first. It's not always, oh my god, this is amazing. But after a few more bites and really getting into it, I start to enjoy it more, and that's what I found with this Plenny Pot. Would I have this again? I definitely would. Especially now that we're in winter time, and during these times I cannot be fucked to cook, if I'm honest. So what I would do is buy a few of these pots, have it for my lunchtime. And what I did today is I put a few potatoes and some broccoli in for some extra nutrition, and also to up the calories, because 400 calories for lunchtime is not a lot for me, and it needs to be in the 500 to 600 range. So that's why I did that. And yeah, I feel satisfied. I don't feel full or stuffed. I just feel just right, you know? Like I don't have to worry about making anything because I've already made it and I've eaten it in less than, what, 10 minutes. And yeah, that's my mealtime sorted. I can get back to whatever I was doing before, and I have more time on my hands to do something else. So I love the fact that it takes away from the hassle of cooking and preparing food. Like I said, I think for me that is a huge selling point. I don't think it compares to a homemade meal where you have separate food items to taste and mix together at your own pleasure. It definitely doesn't compare to that, but I think that's kind of not the point. The point is the fact that you're getting everything you need in one single pot. So all of your nutritional needs for that mealtime are being met. And if you're the kind of person that you just want to focus on nutrition, you're not all about indulging in this and that, then this is definitely for you, for sure. I'm looking forward to trying the last flavour tomorrow, and I'll let you know what I think.
The next day.
It's Wednesday, lunchtime again. Nice to see you. You may or may not hear my kettle boiling in the background, because today I've decided to try out the last flavour for me to try, which is the Tikka Masala. I am very intrigued as to how this tastes because I love Tikka Masala. I love anything with these kind of flavours. You know, when you think of a curry, you think of well-seasoned food, or at least I do. I think of well-seasoned food. I think of spices, a bit of a peppery kick perhaps, and just an abundance of flavour. So we shall see how this tastes. So again, this one's made out of rice, so it's very shakeable, moves around a lot in the pot compared to the first one I tried, which was pasta. It's quite a watery texture when you first pour the hot water in, but within seconds it starts to thicken up. Smells good already. Making sure I mix in really well this time, getting all of the edges and the bottom of the pot nice and mixed in. Switched over to a spoon because I don't want to accidentally poke a hole in this plastic pot. Not saying that I would, but I am quite cautious when it comes to products like these. I noticed that when you pour the water in and it starts to thicken, the volume in the cup goes below the fill line. So once you add that water in, I like to add it slightly above the fill line, but once anyone else adds it in, I don't know anyone else who puts more water in their instant pot meals. I'm the only one that I know who does that. But once you put it in up until the fill line, the contents of the pot just goes down, and I find that interesting. Obviously it's because all of the ingredients inside have been absorbed. So yeah, we'll give it 5 minutes and we'll come back and check on it.
5 minutes later.
Okay, so it's been 5 minutes and a bit, and this is what the tikka masala looks like. It falls off the fork like so. It's quite a similar texture to the vegetable korma that I had yesterday. And I'm thinking that taste-wise it's going to have the same texture as well. It smells absolutely delicious and fabulous. So let me tuck in. Smells like a curry. Does it taste like a curry? That is really good. And again, I could be saying this because every single time I've had one of these pots, I've been ridiculously hungry. And you know when you're really hungry and you eat something and it tastes like heaven to you. That's the feeling that I'm getting right now. But I have a feeling that it's because I'm basically ravenous right now. This is so good. By far, I think I've enjoyed this one out of the other two. Now again, the reason why is probably because I'm really hungry, but I really like the flavour. It tastes like a curry. It tastes like tikka masala. The flavours are on point. It's not spicy at all, but then I don't know if that's because I added a little bit more water in. It tastes very balanced in terms of spices and seasoning. It's probably what I would call mild. It's not hot and it's not spicy at all. It's just flavoursome, which is very nice. And texture wise, it's very similar to the vegetable korma, I would say. And overall, it's quite tasty. I will definitely be having this again for sure. I don't think I have anything more to say about this. It's nice. It's delish for what it is. For a meal in a pot, this is fabulous. I don't think there is any meal in a pot meal that comes close to this or the other Plenny Pots. So that's saying something. And you get all of your nutrients in one little pot. So I'm happy with this. Again, this is a win for me. They've all been winners, chicken dinners, right? They've all been winners for me. Now, on a scale of 0, where 0 is absolutely piss poor, I ain't eating this, I can't even, and 10 is, oh my god, this is absolutely amazing, I'm in heaven, I would give this a, I don't know, I'm quite a tough critic, if I'm honest. I have standards, I would say. Don't know what to rate this. I feel like it's a 6 for me. So whereas the one before that, the vegetable korma, is a 5.5 kind of thing. And what was the other one? I can't remember what I rated the first one, the pasta, the Cajun pasta. But yeah, for me this is going to be a 6. And it's probably my favourite flavour out of all of them. But I think I need a bit more time of having them on a consistent basis to kind of make my mind up altogether. This is just first impressions, and first impressions, this one is a banger. I made sure to mix it all in very, very well. So this time I'm hoping when I get to the bottom there's not going to be a ridiculous amount of flavour that's just going to knock me out, because that's what happened with the Cajun pasta. I didn't mix it well enough. So you really have to get in there, scrape the sides and mix well. And I feel like adding more water to the pot, just a little bit more, not too much. It helps with it as well. It helps with getting everything mixed in and making sure there's not going to be a flavour punch at the bottom of the pot. So yeah, those are my 2 cents on this, and I will come back to you tomorrow and I'll give you my overall viewpoint and conclusion of these Plenny Pots.